involved with something called Fit Body, and I was supposed to hop on because every Tuesday, Kevin, what's going on? Natalie, all right. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer before I dive into the content here. My hand is big. I don't really have big hands, but it looks large when it's right up in the screen, I guess. Yes, so Fit Body is amazing. You guys, really, if you are someone who would really like training assistance, nutrition assistance, fit mind assistance, health coaching, wealth coaching, wealth management, things like that. It's like an overall wellness program, but it's all ran through Facebook. And I hate to say app, but it really allows you to connect with a lot of professionals, and we do Facebook Lives. Two of us, actually, we probably do at least 3 Facebook Lives in a day. So you have Q&As with people like myself, but all over the globe. So, and many more things, but I'm not going to dive into that. Hey, Jordan, what's going on? Liz, yes, everyone shoot out your favorite emoji that describes your day. That describes your day, because I know I just finished paying some medical bills today. So I don't even know what my emoji would be, but it's the emoji of frustration and annoyance, because it just keeps going on and on and on, but it was well worth it. But after you talk on the phone with insurance companies and then you're going back to the hospital and all that, oh, you got like Kevin's got the Ranger hat going on. Did you work out? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jordan. Yes, that's the one. Jordan, that is the one I'm talking about. I don't know. It says bring them on camera. Who wants to come on camera with me? Okay. Hey Tim, what's going on? So by the title, I'm going to dive into the content. If you guys have any specific questions, holler. But I do want to know if you guys are watching live, put live in there. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag after party. Okay. So now this is something I will come out and say, I was wrong. Okay. So a lot of my clients that I'm working with, I will tell them, and I've told them that I will always admit when I'm wrong, and through research, through trial and error, you find things that work better than others, some of which you learn later on and you wish you would have known before. So now, does eating multiple meals a day, does that boost your metabolism? Because I know I would say to everyone, I would say over and over again, hey, you guys, you need to eat your first meal right after you wake up. You're going to rev up that engine. You're going to boost that metabolism, and we're going to kick start it for the day. Okay. Now we need to look at where we are starting from. So myself, that is something that I hold true to what I will do now and what I will do forever, because I wake up in the morning, I'm hungry. That's what I do. That's what helps me. But I am in a maintenance zone, you guys. I have done this for so long that, hey, Christina, what's going on? I have been eating the proper foods for years. I have been exercising. I've been doing resistance training. I have been doing my HIIT training. And hey, Steve. And I have been creating my body and basically making it into a fat burning machine. Okay, so that's what I try to tell my clients. I'm not trying to give you a quick fix here. We're trying to reprogram your body into becoming a fat burning machine, so you can have your cheats, so you can do things that you wouldn't typically do, but you're going to put that food in, you're going to burn it off. Okay, so another thing that I would tell them is the more times that you eat, the better, because we're going to keep revving it up, revving it up, revving it up. Okay, but now we need to look at, and now I made some dry erase boards for my Fit Body community members, but I will not lift those. I'm just going to tell you, in my opinion, the top 3 things, there are many metabolic boosters, but the main top 3 things that boost your metabolism that we need to consider are food choices, our food timing, and our exercise. So we're just going to hit on exercise real quick. Hey, what's going on, Rick? Suzanne, how are you? So exercise, high intensity interval training and resistance training. You are not going to burn calories, burn fat with fat. So if you don't pick up some weights and do some resistance, you're not going to do much for your metabolism. You're going to burn very little when you are not exercising. Your body's just going to be in a standstill state. So you need to make sure that you are picking up the weights. Do not be afraid of those weights. And so high intensity interval training, I have people tell me all the time, Sarah, I do HIIT. And I'm thinking, but I've seen you do HIIT and you are able to carry on a conversation. So in my opinion, that is not high intensity interval training. You need to work a little bit harder. You should feel like you are gasping for air. You should feel, and I hate to scare you, but if you're doing your HIIT correctly, you should almost question, do I have exercise-induced asthma? You know, like I am gasping, I'm breathing, I am really powering through high intensity, you guys. Okay, so we want to look at where we're at. So are we in a maintenance zone? Or do we want to lower our set point? By set point, I mean the set point is where your body is most comfortable. So I have clients say all the time, Sarah, I weigh 180 pounds. My body is most comfortable at 160. I can't ever go lower than that. That is my body's comfort zone. That is my set point. They don't say set point, but that is your set point, where your body is most comfortable. So your metabolism and everything is going to stem around your body's set point. Now, we need to figure out how to lower the set point and what factors are in the mix when it comes to lowering our set point. And hey, Vicki, what's going on? Hey, Lauren. Now, the things to consider when we are trying to lower our set point. The main thing is insulin, okay? So now how do we get spikes of insulin? We get elevated insulin by eating high glycemic foods. So you know I harp on the glycemic index. You need to eat low glycemic foods because when you eat a high glycemic food, your insulin levels spike up in order to bring blood sugar back down to baseline, okay? So that's one way that we have the insulin spike. Another way is eating lean proteins. So I know it goes against everything that we've known with food and losing weight because people think they're doing good by eating egg whites. But actually, we need a buffer. If we eat just lean protein without fat, it actually triggers an insulin response. So there's an insulin index as well as a glycemic index and things that I didn't know about. And, you know, before I thought the only thing that triggered insulin or the only thing that triggers it significantly is through carbohydrates and sugars. That's not the truth. So you can eat a lean protein, very, very lean, so extra lean red meat, which is something I've always consumed. Egg whites, things like that. If you don't have the fat to buffer it, then you're still gonna have that insulin trigger, the insulin response. And that is something that we need to avoid because, like I said, and I forget what I've said on these videos and what I've said in Fit Body, I don't typically do these educational videos live on my Sarah Garino page. And I probably won't do them very often. So if you wanna know about Fit Body, then contact me. But going back to the insulin, if we are in the presence of insulin, we will not burn fat. So burning fat is the goal, right? We need to figure out how to not be in the presence of insulin or an overabundance or insulin resistance. When our insulin levels are too high, that is termed insulin resistance over a long period of time. So we need to make sure that we are not insulin resistant, but a lot of people are, and we're gonna dive into how to tell here in just a second. So yeah, spikes in insulin. High glycemic index foods, lean proteins, and then also high estrogen. So you look at women versus men, and I'm sorry to say, but you're gonna do the same meal plan, the same exercise plan. The woman is probably gonna drop half as much weight as the man, unfortunately. It's just because of hormones, and us women have higher estrogen levels on average. So the last thing, timing of meals, and that's where my subject title comes into play. So I don't know if you know this. I know I didn't know this up until recently, but when we eat foods, it does not matter if we're eating low glycemic foods or not. It can be a good food, bad food. When we eat, the gastric enzymes in our body trigger an insulin response. Therefore, we're going to be in the presence of insulin. We're not going to be burning fat. So if you eat 6 meals a day, you figure you're eating throughout the day, that is 6 opportunities to increase insulin with just eating from the gastric enzymes, from the food choices, and the spikes, in the blood sugar and everything else. So you know what I'm getting at. The fewer meals, the smaller the window of eating is going to be the most beneficial if we're trying to lower our set point and reset our metabolism, okay? And that is something called intermittent fasting. Now, you know that I do not promote anything that is something not maintainable, but this intermittent fasting is not a diet. It is a technique, if you will. So you're still consuming the same amount of calories, the same amount of carbs, the same amount of macros, so your fats, your proteins, your carbs. You are just shortening the window, okay? So instead of scattering it out amongst, like 12, 15 hours or however long you eat, if you eat breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, you are going to shorten that eating window to probably, there's different techniques. There is a 24-hour on, 24-hour off. I don't suggest that to anyone. That's something that you build up to. I know a lot of bodybuilders are actually doing that, and it's very good for lowering insulin, resetting the hormones, so you shut off the hunger hormone, all of that good stuff. But that takes time. So the way to start is an 8-hour eating window. So you're fasting for 16 hours and then 8 hours on. Now, it's different for everyone. You look at your schedule. If you are someone that can wake up and you're not hungry, then I would say wait until lunchtime, eat, and then eat a big dinner and then be done. Or you can eat 3 meals and then be done. But the shorter that window is, if you can do a 4-hour window and do that, you don't have to do it forever. That's the beauty of intermittent fasting. You just do it for a short amount of time to kickstart everything and to reprogram and get your thermostat back in order to lower that set point, and then you will be able to really get down to your desired weight. But until we recalculate until we recalibrate, if you will, we're not going to be able to do much, because a lot of things are destroying our metabolism, like dieting. I think I told you before that when you diet over and over and over again, you are little by little destroying your metabolism. So we need to do something to kick that back up, and intermittent fasting is the #1 way to do that. And obviously putting your body into ketosis through keto dieting, that is a way of getting about doing things too. That is not maintainable, and that is all about the food choices. So intermittent fasting, you are still eating the same foods as you would like to eat. You're just shortening the window. Keto, you are consuming very few grams of carbs and high fats, high proteins. So a lot of people can't maintain that. So to answer the question, is it really beneficial to eat multiple meals for weight loss? The answer is no, and that's something that I myself will admit that I was wrong. Hey, Olivia, what's going on, girlfriend? Does it affect diabetics differently? So diabetics benefit from intermittent fasting significantly, because insulin resistance is ultimately leading to diabetes. So you are insulin resistant. So I follow this one doctor on YouTube, and he works with tons of diabetics, and he says he has his patients do this all the time. It's so beneficial. So obviously you want to talk to your doctor before you do any type of intermittent fasting, but it was created in hopes to help diabetics as well. So same thing with the glycemic index. The insulin index is something diabetics should look at as well, because I don't think people realize that timing of meals trigger an insulin response. and different things like that. So yes, I would definitely talk to your doctor about doing it and give it a go if you can. So moving on to the last thing I just want to hit on are some helpful things that I find that boost metabolism.